So slides showing high failure rates on new fitness tests are not official.
I sent you this one.
Slides shared on social media showing the pass and failure rates for soldiers taking the new Army combat physical fitness test among a select number of battalions are not official documents for the Center for Initial Military Training. Officials involved in collecting data for the new test said. The original poster of the slides, U.S. Army what the fuck moments, stood by the slides stating they were used to brief the Secretary of the Army and the Chief of Staff, which they were. I heard about this. Slides purport to document the testing conducted by 11 battalions, equaling more than 3,200 soldiers, of which should be more than that.
Yeah.
Of which 2,849 were men and 350. So these have to be training battalions, would be my guess then.
Yeah. They were an infantry.
Because that number's way the fuck off.
Yeah.
The overall pass rate was allegedly 64%. Men passed the test at the rate of roughly 70%. Women failed the test at a rate of roughly 84%, according to the slides. Many of the failures were attributed to the leg tuck event. The slides show that leg tuck event. What the fuck?
I think that that's you hang and you have to bring your legs up or something. Yeah.
It was push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run. It's the only PT test I've ever known.
Yeah. I myself, I never took the new one, so.
2 of the units that I was in threw in a swim test, pull-ups, and a road march for good measure. Although that didn't count on your official PT scorecard. It was just a unit thing.
I gotcha.
You guys did that too. Ranger did that too, didn't they?
Well, we would take the standard Army PT test, which is the push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run, and you better get a 275 or higher.
Right. Yeah. We needed a 270 or higher.
Yeah. If you came below 275, they'd call you in and like, what's going on, Ranger?
Mm-hmm.
So I always max the push-ups, max the sit-ups, and then because the running, I'm just not a fast runner. And there's a couple times I came in like 14 minutes and like, hey, Pop, you need to run on your off time. You need to shave at least 30 seconds off that.
My run time was about a 13:30.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, they just threw extra shit in there to fuck with us, I think, because they could, because we didn't have anything else to do. Many of the failures were attributed to the leg tuck event. However, CIMT officials stated that the data did not originate from them. The chart in question is not an official document. It wasn't assessed or aggregated by CIMT to produce official results, said Lieutenant Colonel Peggy Cagliari, Public Affairs Director for the Center for Initial Military Training.
So we have Public Affairs, which is basically Army propaganda, saying that, that's not true at all. Come on, man.
And it's a female officer on top of that.
Yeah. How many times in your unit something went down and they said nobody tell anybody that actually worked?
Yeah.
So you had 11 battalions of guys or soldiers taking this fucking new test, massive amounts of women failing, and you know the word's out. People are like, oh, these women are fucked. Oh my God, they're so fucked. Oh my God, we're fucked. And then the Army Public Affairs is like, well, that's not official data. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Come on.
That is more common than one would think. We did an exercise, 1st Brigade on 2nd Brigade in 2ID in Korea, and 1st Brigade got massacred, and we were all ordered to be quiet about it because it showed bad operational readiness. We're like, we're sitting within range of the short artillery. Can we straighten this out somehow? Korea was still bad news at the time. I mean, it wasn't like a lot of it, but there were still occasional skirmishes in the DMZ. Their SOF would get in, all kinds of stuff like that. I could tell stories about that one for fucking days. It is vital to emphasize the first record ACFT is at least 13 to 14 months away. What? The Army will use this year to teach, train, and mentor troops on when are these troops going through basic training, which is only 10 weeks long, about how to prepare for the ACFT and therefore prepare for their combat mission. The PT test will not save you in combat.
Nope.
When training is complete and units have adapted to the new test, we expect performance rates to be similar to the current test. Over the past year, 63 battalions across the Army Reserve and National Guard and active duty components were fielded the equipment to train and take. If you need equipment for a PT test, it's a bad PT test. That means that this slide, if accurate, would equate to less than 20% of tested battalions. I would argue that you could use your gear for PT tests, like your weapon or your ruck or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I'm
if
not-
you
I'm
need
not-
poise to perform a PT test, I don't think it's a valid test.
Yeah, I have actually, I have no idea what the new test is. I know there's like a dead body drag and, deadlifting and stuff like that. But
Okay,
and the thing is
those are valid.
they did get more women to pass. And you want to know how they did it? They lowered the
Lower the
standard.
standards.
Yeah.
Lower the standards. Let's see if we can get this to come up here. Oh, I don't have Facebook, so it doesn't like me. It doesn't want to show. Okay, there we go.
I still can't
I
see.
just let's see if I can get that zoomed in somewhat.
No, it's not.
No, it doesn't want to zoom in on the picture. Let's see if I can do
Abort.
this.
Abort.
Boop, boop, boop. There we go. There we go.
I don't see any
What's
difference.
it? It's zoomed on my screen. All right, screw you, Facebook. I don't even want to hear about it. Oh, I see why. Share this tab instead. There we go.
There you go. There we go.
It opened in a different tab and I didn't notice it. Look at the percentage of failures.
3 max deadlift, standing power throw fail. Let's see, hand release push up, spring drag carry, leg
drag
tuck
carry.
fail.
What's a hand release push up?
Oh, that's where you do the push up, come down, and then you raise your hands off the ground, and then you do it again. So you don't get the benefit of bouncing. Like
That was called a fail, and if you bounced, that was also not counted.
Listen, when I was younger, I mean, I had a huge amount of muscle, man. Boom, 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 and I'd crank out 105 fucking, push-ups in 2 minutes.
Same. Look, it just it's physiognomy. I'm tired of this stupid Mickey Mouse bullshit. It's not a diss on females or anything like that. We're just biologically built different. You're not fucking hardwired for this shit.
We have to acknowledge physics here.
Yeah.
If you have more muscle mass, you will be stronger. If your bones are denser, they will be stronger. If you have a bigger heart and a bigger lungs, you will have more endurance.
Yeah. This isn't complicated, man.
No.
It's not complicated. Look, ladies, we're not dissing you. We're just saying you're not going to bench press 35, which I could do when I was 40.
Yeah.
So it just is what it is. Nearly half of female soldiers still failing the new Army PT test will males pass easily. This is
what's the date on that?
2021. So they changed the PT test again. And this would have been when everybody was wearing masks too. That's great. More than 7 months after the official launch of the Army's Combat Fitness Test, or ACFT, nearly half of the female soldiers are still falling short, while enlisted women struggling the most. The data again raises questions about whether the Army's attempt to create a fitter force is creating more barriers to success for women.
Barriers.
I can't take it anymore. I can't take this shit anymore.
That is propaganda speak. Barriers to success. Listen, reality and physics are not a barrier. They're just realities you have to overcome. Because gravity.
I want to talk about men and the barriers to success of men having children.
Yeah, okay.
I don't really want to. I just wanted to point out how stupid this is.
Well, I know. Well, if you go by the old philosophy, men could have children because you just have to believe you are, and you are.
I'm going to have to ask you to eat a bag of dicks, please.
Please sprinkle some fuck off on there for flavor.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, stop it. Just stop it. No, it's stop being ridiculous. Cut it out. This is so unfucking necessary. Women are perfectly capable of doing so many things. There's no problem with them doing those things. One of the things, back to the freaking this one here. One of the things in World War II and World War I for that matter, that GIs commented on the most when they came back from the front wounded is how comforted they were by the sight of a female American face.
Yes.
Those women saved lives because those guys were at their lowest. They'd just been torn up. They'd just been taken out of their unit. And being taken out of your unit when it's doing shit does shit to your head. It absolutely does shit to your head. It's well documented.
But not to mention, during World War II, some of those guys were in frontline action for months.
Yeah. Months and months.
Yes.
Yep.
Months.
Yeah, the Italy campaigns. Those guys went straight from France down to Italy in a lot of cases, and we're just going for days and days and days and days. I think it's in Band of Brothers. The one sergeant, Tom Sizemore, plays him, and he's an E7. And everywhere he goes, he's got a little jar. He's got like a snuff can that he puts dirt from that place in, and he opens up his bag, and you see that he's got like 20 cans of dirt in his bag.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
I mean, that's a hard motherfucker right there.
Yeah. But when those guys came back wounded and went into the hospitals and stuff like that, there's letter after letter after letter and story after story about how those women basically saved that guy's sanity and saved his life and made him want to keep going.
Yep.
That's worthy. For Christ's sake, you're saving a life. What do you want? You know, you don't need to carry the Carl Gustav.
Yeah, you're not carrying the Carl Gustav. I'm sorry.
I said that deliberately to me.
Yeah, I know. I've carried the Carl Gustav in the 90, and it sucked.
Yeah, that's a big chunk. I've only ever seen one. I've never fired one. I was there when one got fired on a range, like some distance from us. But yeah, that's a big piece of equipment, and you're not just walking around with that if you could help it.
And I wasn't even like the 90 gunner. I was just like in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Here, carry this.
I pop carry this. You just got your sniper rifle. I'm like, what? Fuck. Okay. That's exactly what happened. Hey, you only got
damn it. Yeah, right.
You're not wrong.
That's all snipers carry. Yeah. Oh my God. ForceCom data includes the results of 106,000 ACFTs taken the first half of fiscal 2021. This amounts to 27. It should be. No, that's about right. This amounts to 27% of women and 36% of men who also have scores logged into the Army's database, meaning the data could potentially be incomplete. I would bet that it is. You're supposed to take a PT test every 6 months. ForceCom tracks 3,400 new PT tests per week on average. What?
All right, here's another thing. All right. One of the main reasons that the standards have slipped as low as they have is you have a bunch of these. I'm going to say it again. I have no respect for most officers, but they are so worried about their next OER. That's an officer evaluation rating. They're willing to literally look the other way to make shit happen. And that's why you get like so many generals at the top, like Milley, who are literally walking pieces of festering dog shit.
When I was the NCOIC at 8th Army Civil Affairs, it's a G5. We had a small cadre, and most of what we did was manage people coming in for exercises for basically the summer and winter cycles. And we would get officers from Hawaii and New York, and Fort Bragg would send some of the 96 guys too. But we would get these officers in, and one of my jobs as the NCOIC for ops was to give them PT tests because they were there for 3 weeks, and you had a week of buildup. You would do the exercise, you pack your shit, and you go home. These guys would come in and couldn't pass PT tests. I gave this one lieutenant a PT test. He was a first lieutenant, and he failed. And he literally got up when I told him that he failed, and walked into the colonel's office.
Yep.
Colonel goes, Sergeant Finland, coming. I walk in there. Colonel says, what happened here? Failed a PT test, ma'am. Lieutenant, and he starts to give the usual litany of excuses. And she goes, Lieutenant, shut your mouth. My sergeant owns you for the next week. Sergeant, unfuck this man. Dismissed. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah! That's a good officer right there.
She was a very good officer. She was a very good officer. She is the one female officer that I would still serve under to this day. And that's Carlin O'Shaughnessy. She's with the South. I think she's retired now. She retired as a brigadier general, and she was just no nonsense, hard as nails. She earned the Jump Master badge at Bragg in the mid 80s, which as a woman was not easy. She earned that shit.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.